Kia ora. In the previous tutorials, we've talked about our mission and the importance of a considered list of what we're going to teach if we're going to actually achieve our mission. In this tutorial, we're going to begin to talk about the importance of culture.
There is a big difference between running a program and building a culture. I want you to imagine that your church or youth group is like a pizza. The culture of your group is like the pizza base, while the toppings are all your programs. Sometimes we're so focused on the busyness of our programs that we aren't really working on the pizza base, which is the culture of the group. As a result, all we get is a busy, sticky mess. The point is, if your group doesn't really have a heart for outreach, there is no one program that can fix it, because culture is changed through habits.
For example, if I had a weight problem, eating healthy for one meal isn't going to fix it. The real solution is to change my long-term eating and exercise habits, right?
Yeah.
And in the same way, if you want to be effective in outreach as a church or group, there are some habits that you'd do well to consider.
As a first habit, start every year with the goal.
Get everyone to write down the name of 3 to 5 friends they'd like to encourage toward faith. Then next to their names, list things that might hinder them from coming to faith. These are for prayer and conversation. And then list their interests, because these can become connection points for your group later on. And in case of any misunderstanding, what we're suggesting is that you do this at the start of every year for the rest of your life, because this little activity triggers something.
Next, you want your group members to be motivated and equipped. Now, a one-off motivation talk about outreach is good, but it might soon be forgotten, right? So how about the idea of motivating your group for outreach at the start of every quarter, school term, as a habit? You can remind them about God's great love and the mission He has given each of them to fulfill through engagement with people around us each day.
But motivation alone won't move them, because they also need to know how. So equipping for outreach is needed too. And again, a one-off equipping is great, but more is needed. So how about giving 4 to 6 weeks to outreach equipping as a habit every year? These are the weeks in which you could teach the kind of things discussed in the previous tutorial while using the resources like those we've created.
But even with this, they're still going to forget things we teach them, right?
Right.
I mean, can you remember the 3 questions to turn a conversation? We need a really, really easy way to regularly remind them of some key things. So how about you set a habit of praying together for about 5 minutes on the first week of every month for the friends they listed at the start of the year. And then another habit of asking for testimonies on the 3rd week of each month about the efforts they've made to encourage faith in others. Finding stories would not only encourage and refocus everyone, it would also give you a really good platform of which to revise something you've taught with your youth. For example,
Hey, thanks Sally for that amazing testimony. Did you all notice how that opportunity came about because she asked her friends some questions? The key to great conversations is great questions, right? Now, do any of you remember those 3 great questions we talked about earlier this year?
and just like that, you'll be helping things you taught them earlier in the year to go from short-term memory to long-term memory, and then hopefully from long-term memory into lifelong application. So to summarize where we are up to, 1. Start every year with your group establishing the goal with a list of non-church friends you each want to encourage.
2. Get your year plan out and put into it motivation for outreach at the start of each quarter, plus a few weeks of annual equipping for outreach.
Then 3. Intentionally support this through monthly habits of giving 5 minutes together to pray for friends you've listed, maybe on the first week of each month, and then to give 5 minutes of hearing testimonies from people who have tried to share faith on maybe the 3rd week of each month, after which you remind them of things you've taught earlier in the year. So lessons move to long-term memory and application.
We have 2 more points to go on changing culture,
We hope this is helping.
and we'll see you in the next tutorial.